There was something I had trouble figuring out about hypnotic eyes, how to influence somebody with nothing more than your eyes in the beginning when I started, and this clarified for me when I met a guy that we will call him Julian, when I attended an Ericksonian practitioner workshop. And this was another person who was attending the workshop. He told me that basically when he was 10 years old and his sister was 8 years old, they had a car accident, and he kind of recovered from it in an okay way, but she was having nightmares every night, which is no fun at all, about the crash. She was having flash every time she was trying to go to sleep, or like most nights when she was trying to go to sleep, the flash of the accident was coming back in her mind. And you can bet for an 8-year-old child, it was pretty disturbing. She had trouble staying awake in the classroom later, and basically no one really knew back then what to do with that young lady, and the doctors tried to give her some pills, but didn't really have any effect. I think he told me in the first week or the first 2 weeks it kind of slowed down the symptoms, but then it just came back and she was suffering from that again. And someday the situation changed pretty randomly, or maybe it is fate, I don't know. Basically, they just went into a fun fair, and in a small tent there was a wizard, a magician, a healer, somebody who was demonstrating psychic powers. At least it was how it was advertised in the front. And she said, "I want to go there, I want to go there, I want to go there." And he said, "Okay, let's go," because he was kind of annoyed by those things in the beginning, though. But they entered, and the wizard, like his name was Harry something, and he said, "I'm going to demonstrate the powers of the spirit or whatever he presented." He just said, "I'm going to demonstrate some powers," which in the end was probably just hypnosis, but he was having some theatrical performance. So they sat there and they watched in awe, like, "Oh, what's gonna happen?" And the guy started to demonstrate some, arm levitation, where people just get their arm moving like this out of nowhere. And at some point he said, "I will need 3 volunteers," and without her raising her hand, he said, "You young lady, and you, and you." Like 3 or maybe 4 people. He got on not the stage, but like the front, let's say the front of the room, the place, and he said, "I'm going to affect their mind in deep ways," something like that. He touched her on the forehead. From what Julian told me, he touched the young girl, the sister, on the forehead with his thumb and mumbled some incantations, probably something like with those like meditative sounds. And at some point she reported that she had felt something in her chest, like a jolt of electricity in her chest, spreading through her arms, getting up to the tips of her fingers. And she was kind of dazzled and like confused what's happening. And he did the same thing with the second person and the third person, and at the end he only kept the third person to demonstrate some more hypnotic effects with like amnesia and all those things that hypnosis shows are full of. And the girl came back at her seat with Julian. And what was crazy was that the day after, she did not report any nightmare. She actually slept quite well. But even 1 month later and 2 months later, no more nightmares. And it was kind of curious, and Julian, who was a really curious guy, was like, "Is it linked with that?" He was having a hard time believing it could actually be the wizard, the healer, who could have done anything. But he was curious about it. Did something happen that I missed at that moment? So he went back to the fun fair and he asked around where was the wizard, the Harry guy, and some other magician or technician in the fun fair said, "Oh no, this guy is only coming here once in a while. He's coming into different cities like every month, so he's not here right now." And Julian said, "I just want to learn what he did that day with those tricks, with the incantations." And the guy didn't really know about it, but he said, "Yeah, it's something about magnetism, mesmerism." It was like the old term to define hypnosis. And he said there is a small pamphlet around here. It was called the story of animal magnetism by Franz Mesmer, or the story of Franz Mesmer, or something like this. Basically, really the old roots of hypnotism. And he gave him the small book, and Julian started reading it, and he was really intrigued. And actually, this book alone and what happened to his sister was the beginning of his journey into becoming a hypnotist, which later he became, and he was really successful. But the point was that the only real evidence, or like trail of evidence he found for what happened that day with his sister into that place had led to the hypnotic gaze, the fascination process. How can you make someone go into a trance just by looking at them, and then altering their perception of reality just by the way you look at them? If we take that from the more, down to earth explanation, I'm pretty sure that girl was really wishing to change, and probably that guy, if he was really an advanced hypnotist, which I guess he was, maybe he just sensed that. I can definitely assure, if you have never been into hypnosis shows, you may not be aware of that, but if you are on stage with a full room of people, I can guarantee after like years of experience, you can sense extremely easily who is there with a strong intent to change and who just don't care about it and will make a terrible subject. You just learn those tricks when you are performing shows in front of an audience, or especially if you're getting paid. Even worse, when people pay, they really wait from you that you give them something that is impressive. So we just learned that to spot people who are really receptive, but not receptive in the sense of, oh, they're going to be hypnotized fast, or like they're going to lose control fast. Not like this. Receptive in the sense that they really want something to happen to their mind. And I guess that little girl was really in a pretty damn intent. She really wanted that to heal once and for all, to not be bothered by her nightmares. So probably he sensed that. And then the actual technique with the hypnotic gaze, coming back from what Julian said, he really analyzed back from his memory. He analyzed every movement, every word he noticed, he remembered from the hypnotist. And he said, the only thing I can really trace it back to is that hypnotic gaze, that he really gazed at her really intensely at some point and really didn't lose the connection with her eye contact for like an extended period of time. And you can find many examples of that through the history of hypnosis, even at times where this was not called hypnosis, it has different names, so mesmerism, magnetism. This has had so many names throughout history, but basically there is a way to connect your third eye, which may just be scientifically broken down into very specific regions of the brain being activated, but let's simplify with the third eye concept, which is pretty known in meditative practices. Connecting your third eye with their third eye, you will basically look through all the bullshit they have in front of you, they put between you and them. Not talking about the little girl, but like a client in therapy, many times they will arrive with a whole lot of negative beliefs, negative false assumptions about themselves, about what they can accomplish, and you can help them open their mind so that they have access to a deeper potential in themselves. And when we talked about that with Julian, he said it can be called the hypnotic gaze or hypnotic eyes, but he said, I prefer to call that the neo eye. He called that through experimentation the neo eyes, as a reference to Neo, the character in the Matrix movie, because he can see things other people don't see, and he has a better acuity around people, how they move, what to do to beat them if it is a fight. So he called that the Neo eyes, and we developed together the method to build a representation of how can people learn that, because from the book he learned that from, it was very theoretical, extremely vague, and a few references, but not really the clear technique to use it. So we had developed that, or like he had mentioned it, and then I developed it on my own, because we only talked about this specifically 2 or 3 times, and then I was kind of obsessed with, okay, I want to master that skill myself, so I developed it through the years. And I noticed every time I was using that with a client personally, I came back to a concept that Carl Jung talks about a lot, which is called synchronicities. You may have heard about that in all those, law of attraction things, even if I think the law of attraction is going way over the board. The way it is being taught is going way over the board in terms of, yeah, everything is going to happen just by magic. I think there is some truth and some BS into that concept. But basically, you can attract events, sometimes not even as a mystical thing, just because you have pushed on the right buttons. When you speak to somebody, you push on the right buttons by the way you move around them, by the energy you project with your body language. There are many things you do without knowing you do them. However, all those things only happen if you have the right gaze and you look into their third eye in the right way. All of this is basically provoking synchronicities, so you get thoughts and intuitions on what the person needs, on what the person does not say, because in a session the biggest problem is what people don't clearly say or what people don't clearly admit to themselves, which makes the session last longer, because you can never really get to the final outcome, the final point, because they keep arguing about something else and something else. But when you use that technique, you go right, you cut through the chase, you go right at the moment where they have a big breakthrough about their life, because you can see through all the mental fog, all the anxieties, the worries, all the clutter that lies in their head about all the things they failed at in the past, all the things they hate in the world. We can clear out all of this and find the one thing they have trouble talking about. And I found myself through the years getting intuitions coming from I don't know, and it could be really easy to link that with, you know, the universe. You get that from a mystical entity around you, which might be the case, or it might be God if you believe in God. I'm really not close to anything, so like it could be something higher, mystical. Why not? I really don't know. I just believe that whether it is a higher entity or it's just your brain, one or the other, or maybe both at the same time, in any case, same thing. The K-null is, can you open that part of your brain where you are going to connect with deeper thoughts of the person you are speaking to. And when you can do that, no matter how you want to justify that, oh, I got a word from God, he talked to me. Maybe it is the case, maybe it's not even the case, it maybe was just your unconscious mind that calculated something. In any case, you found the right answer and you found what to do, and you can influence people almost by thoughts alone, because you may not say anything specific, but just opening that K-null to connect your unconscious mind with their unconscious mind will be enough to make them reflect upon their life, to make them change in ways they never thought about. And if you want to develop that skill yourself, I have prepared 4 video lessons separately down in the description on the first link that you can use to discover how you can develop that sharp, clear mind so that you influence others even without thinking sometimes, or like actually you do think but you don't know you're thinking. It's like your unconscious mind that is provoking deeper changes in yourself, and then you can produce those changes in the person you are speaking with. And I have added a hypnotic track that I wish I could have had when I tried to develop those skills myself back in the day. A hypnotic track that you can listen to anytime you are going to enter a situation where you want to hypnotize people, to prepare your mind and get you in the right state. Because getting in the right state when you're just on your own can be easy, but getting in the right state when you are with somebody else and they project on you all their insecurities, their emotional baggage, all of that, it may be way trickier. So this hypnotic track is definitely something I could have been using a lot when I was developing my skills in the beginning. You can use that just before you enter a session, or if you are into a sales presentation, how to make sure your mind will be in the right state, empowered, feeling positive about what's going to happen, and feeling positive about your skills, because many times a hypnotherapist gets stuck not even because of the client but because they don't believe in themselves, and that clear mind will be a new sense of confidence for you. You can develop that from the inside, and when it is there, once it is there from the inside, you are well grounded in the present, you know you are doing the right thing, you are focused on the moment with the person in front of you, then many things you say will connect with their unconscious mind, even if you haven't completely figured out, oh, I should say this because they said that. All those things you can break them down later if you record your sessions, but in the beginning it may not even be needed. You may just have the right state, and from the right state, conditioned with those hypnotic eyes, you can just imprint in the person's mind new beliefs, new assumptions about their potential, about what they can do, what they can achieve, and build up a stronger representation in their head of what will happen in their future. Because many people stay stuck in an old negative way of seeing things, but by getting yourself in the right level of trance, you can help them way better. So if you want me to help you with that, it is down below in the description. There are 4 videos with a hypnotic track that you can listen to every day until you get that automatically, because the point is obviously that this skill is automatic and you don't have to trigger it or like encore it. It is just there automatic every time you speak to people you want to hypnotize. You can get that help from me if you want, and in any case, good luck, and I will see you in the next video.